everyone. Welcome back to LaQuanda's Heart, and I'm gonna do a quick video. It may be quick, I don't know, but it's about this whole concept of. And first, let me give a disclosure here. So, for anyone who knows me, I'm very open about the fact that I manage bipolar 1 disorder. I've spoken about it on a national basis. It's been a part of my platforms. It's been a part of my career and everything that I do. I'm in the field of mental health. I practice as a therapist now. I used to be the director of outreach for a national organization. So I've been around the field of mental health for about 15, 16 years now. And one of my frustrations, particularly when it comes to individuals who are managing bipolar disorder, there is this thing where people say, well, XYZ is bipolar. That is so not even, it's beyond incorrect and inappropriate, but it's dehumanizing. So you strip a person of their identity and you place this label of this serious mental health condition on them. And it's interesting because we don't do this with all mental health conditions. We do it with schizophrenia, where someone will describe someone as saying, oh, they're schizophrenic. That's incorrect as well. That person has a mental health condition, a mental health concern, a mental illness, or the person is managing schizophrenia or learning how to manage, their condition. When it comes to health conditions, physical health conditions, we don't say Mr. X is cancer. We don't say Mr. X is heart disease. We don't say Mr. X is diabetes. We say that individual has, and then we name the condition. But when it comes to those particular mental health conditions, we seem to want to say, well, LaQuanda is bipolar. Well, from my perspective, if you say LaQuanda is bipolar, I am going to immediately correct you because, again, you're stripping my entire identity away from me and saying that I am this condition, which I am way more than, the condition that I am managing. And that's why I'm very selective about the words that I use when it comes to mental health conditions, because I generally like to empower people to have control and remember that they do have a level of control when it comes to their conditions. And I like to say the person is managing or learning how to manage the condition. One, it gives that level of power back to the person, but it also doesn't strip this person of their humanity and their identity. And that's the biggest thing, because you're already dealing with stigma and what people assume you are or are not going to do, based upon what's going on. For me in particular, I have people that I meet and, I'm open about, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. But at the same time, these individuals will go to, WebMD and screenshot things, and they will send these things to me, and they're like, hey, are you dealing with this, or is this you? The biggest one is this you? And I have to, indicate that, hey, the things that you are saying really have, nothing to do with me, because we all present. There's a general guideline on how these conditions manifest, right? But we all present in different ways. How my condition manifests may be different from how someone else's condition may manifest, but there are similar underlying things that take place, and that's why we receive our diagnosis. But the whole point of this is that we learn not to dehumanize an individual based upon, their diagnoses. Because at the end of the day, they're human beings learning how to deal with and manage very, very serious illnesses. So the next time you're speaking of someone, or you're going to say, or you're concerned about, okay, this individual may have this condition, remember, it's the individual and the condition is separate. It's not this person is bipolar, because there's no such thing. They're not bipolar. They're Sam, they're John, they're Kanye, they're LaQuanda, me. They're an individual who has an identity, and we need to respect that person's identity. Because when we respect that person's identity, we are reminding that individual that, hey, I still matter, and I, me, the person, still exists in spite of this condition that I now have. Because remember, I didn't wake up and say, oh, today I want to have bipolar disorder. That wasn't my choice. This was the hand that I was dealt, and I'm learning to live with that. But we have to be sure that the language that we're using isn't still along the parallel where we're going to continue this cycle of stigmatizing people who are open about what they're dealing with in life. Because when you cannot share what's going on with you, it's very isolating, and sometimes it can be dangerous. So I just want to get on, throw that quick rant out. I hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you for everyone who's watching, us and following us on Healing Black Women. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a great and awesome day.